What's up, guys? Mikey in the building. Hope you guys had a good day today. If you hear some screaming in the background, the kids are staying up late tonight. We got a storm coming, much prepared. So I kept it simple today. I traded RIME, RME. I did mark up this book a little bit in comparison to how I had my thought process trading this when we look at this chart. All right. I didn't really see a whole lot today. I also wasn't like extremely prepared. I think I got on like 15 minutes before the bell rang. I was just getting ready for this upcoming storm. However, I did take a trade on this and was able to be profitable on this one. I traded it since I was late. I wish I would have potentially got some soak ads down here, but that's okay. All right, secondary entries and then looking for something to break out is possible. I know this is a new um, chart. This was also named something else. I don't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. So we got a new chart. So it's very important to just absolutely trade what's in front of us sometimes, right? This could not break out. This failed. Okay, I'm gonna go over how it's failed. Failed to get over some structure. To me, right away, when things pop up or gap up really high on not that much volume, right? We're pretty much gapped up almost up to the 50, over the 50% level with 50K. And yes, it did accumulate. We started to see a little bit more volume. 350K, 400,000. It's a false breakout right here at 802. And then this was a key level. This is a breakdown zone. Um, that happened pre-market. So now when we open up and we're starting to trade under structure, it's very important that when we start to get these extensions or any type of bigger volume, trading 2.4 mil, 2.4, 1.8, and then again over here 2.8, almost 3 mil, and then really consistent 1 milli candlesticks, and we're not breaking out above this structure, that's a bad sign. All right. Book-wise, so this is how I traded this. Um, I was very aware of this lot of volume that went through right here. It's something really important to note that happened around 70 cents, right? There's a lot of shares, transaction, market slaps right here, 155,000 and then almost another 100K, right? And if you spread it out, you'll be able to break that down. All right, so this level was very important right here, okay? This was also very controlled. This did a book flip at this level, and then at open bell, we kind of start to see how they removed that liquidity that was holding it down from pre-market. Okay, this is the zone that you saw on the 1 minute candlestick chart that I actually traded off of. Okay, so I was able to actually get a couple plays off of this one, soaked it off this zone right here, and then soaked it off this zone again. But very, very important that this was that second structure right here. First of all, we could not break out. This needed to actually break out. All right. They immediately stacked some offers right here. This should have went. So they pulled it. They don't want to get filled, but then it has a really hard time breaking out over here. There's not a lot of follow through or aggressive market buyers and buyers bidder wise bids stepping up into actually letting this break out. Like this should have broke out. The fact that they pull this, they put it back, and we get some aggressive buyers right here, and there's no follow through or breakout was very concerning. All right. Uh, Over here, there was a lot of swipes on this. If you're watching the book and watching your candlestick chart, watching this set up, this would actually pop up really quick. So you see a bunch of swipes with no follow through. Okay, this had a hard time again breaking out over 78 cents, and there wasn't really that much crazy, or I would say good support on this. This kept swiping over here, swipe multiple times where it come back, it dip, and then you get a quick swipe up almost back to highs, and then it'll consolidate, bounce back and forth, and that's what you're seeing right here on the book. And then it would fail to break out, right? So we're seeing these quick swipes, and all of a sudden it consolidates, quick swipe, consolidates, even pulls back right here, would swipe right back up, and then failed to break out right here. All right, so that's what these candlesticks are doing. Kind of, I see it now a little bit more clear on the book for me. So I was able to rotate this one pretty well. Last week, what I failed to do was kind of accept the cycle that we're in, right? The cycle is this. We're not getting these crazy runners right now. Volume's okay. Like this one definitely had the volume, but seeing the market conditions where for small caps right now are not the best. Last week, what I was doing was I was adding right here, barely scaling anything, adding more right here, barely scaling anything, and it would come back to my zone, and finally it would break down, and then I would take the L. You know, believe it or not, these swipes are only about 10%, 12% swipes, but I was able to shuffle, recycle, scale some once we started seeing aggressive pops like this, scale into an extension, scale as we start to extend or see a little bit more extensions, and then scale, immediately hold and stop out as soon as things are not working right, and then look to reposition myself once we started to accumulate and soak again. Traded it different, understood it a lot more, and then it's so important to see the structure, right? Structure is very important, and how things get there and set up is very important too. Like how this got there wasn't really that strong, so when we came back underneath it and we're starting to trade a lot of volume. What's up, bud? I'll be right, 1 second, okay? Can you close the door? Thank you, bud. When we're starting to trade a lot of volume and we're coming into this structure and realizing how we were setting up is very important, right? And then we, can clearly see we're having such a hard time, here and on the book. So this time, I traded this a lot smarter. And then, talking to a couple of other traders too, um, you know, which I value their opinions on structure and what kind of market condition we are. I was able just to capitalize on this 100 times better than I was on last week, right? It's very important to see the games and then to finally scale out. I was explaining something to one of my buddies, and this is important, right? It's better to have better risk management and then be profitable, because if this does break out, then we're going to look for a secondary or a third maybe setup. If we're going to break out and stay strong on something like this, then maybe we can get an entry where it actually pulls back, and start to trade above this area. So, for example, you soak, I took 40K, cycled it, took 40, had 65K, started cycling out really quick, and then had 40, and then was able to liquidate. But say I took 40K, and then it came back, and I was like, oh, I scaled out, and now I have maybe like, 5K, and I'm like, dang, that's all I have. Well, that's okay, right? You have good risk management, you're scaling, you're taking some profits, and now you could potentially get another trade above here, or if you just ride that out, that's still okay. You know, there'll always be another ticket or trade, but the risk management part is more important, and then understanding the market conditions and then the structure that we were trading, and then if we are going to have strength, to look for a different entry, possibly above this level, right? I thought this was a great pre-market breakdown zone to trade off the 5, a little bit more clear to see over here. So the fact that we started to get above these levels, it was basically trading in between two zones, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, this right here absolutely needed to go, right? And if this was going to go, especially after someone swiping about 67,000 shares, not including what was on level 2 and was kind of missing, this needed to go. And the fact that after they started to get aggressive, they actually swiped out 77s, but could not get over 7750s. There's maybe a little bit appetite, and then no more appetite right here. So very important, right? Very important to start scaling, taking some profits. I actually scaled out 90% on that one from soaking off of 69 and 70s. And so, again, not the craziest, But since I did that kind of twice over here and over here, you know, a couple of 10% returns doing it twice wasn't that bad, right? But all right, guys, that's all I got. Much love. Peace out, Mikey.